Hello everyone, this is Warhawk Beyond 2040 bringing to you a brand new awesome yet crazy theory, and for the first time for this series I am going to be doing a 3-part theory video which is going to focus on Superman villain Brainiac, who just happens to be my favourite of all time, and each theory video that you will see will focus on how I would introduce Brainiac into a Superman movie / Superman TV show. And you know, Brainiac, I thought nobody really talks about this guy much, and I figured for this channel we'll give Brainiac some much needed love because, in my opinion, and I'm sure I speak for a lot of people out there, Brainiac is one of the best Superman villains, and he is definitely up there with Lex Luthor and General Zod, but nobody ever talks about him, which is a real shame. So for part 1, we are going to talk about my theory on how I would have introduced Brainiac for Superman 3, because there were a number of stories over the years that I've heard that the idea was to introduce Brainiac into Superman 3 as the main villain, but sadly plans got changed and, you know, we got what we got, and as the old saying goes, it is what it is. So we are going to take a look at Brainiac's entire history in the media, and then we'll talk about how I would have introduced Brainiac into Superman 3. Since bursting onto the scene in 1938, Superman is considered by many to be the greatest comic book superhero of all time. But however, his rogues gallery is another issue, because although Superman has some great villains such as Metallo, Doomsday, Darkseid, General Zod, and Bizarro when he's done right, a lot of the Superman villains, I feel, have always had to take a backseat to Lex Luthor, which is a real shame, especially Brainiac, because Brainiac, in my opinion, is the smartest of all of the Superman villains, above Lex Luthor, because he's a living, walking computer. He can download himself into any network across the planet, and you never truly destroy Brainiac, because just like a computer, he always manages to find a backup copy of himself and just download his computer systems into that body. So Brainiac, for someone who is a machine, you never truly defeat him because he always finds a way to come back, and that for me makes Brainiac the best Superman villain in my opinion, and he's always had to take a backseat to Lex Luthor, and I've never really been a fan of that. So we're going to take a look at Brainiac's entire history, and then we're going to get straight into the theory on how I would have introduced Brainiac into Superman 3. Brainiac made his first appearance in Action Comics issue 242 in 1958, and has since then cemented himself as one of Superman's greatest enemies. And in his first appearance, he used to fly around in a spaceship with a pet monkey called Coco, and he has proven to be a thorn in Superman's side ever since his first appearance. Brainiac has appeared in a number of issues back in the 50s to the 60s, and has always come up with new challenges to try to destroy Superman. But Brainiac is best known for shrinking the city of Kandor and placing it in a bottle, and he has also made a number of appearances in animation. In the Superman 1968 filmation, Brainiac never really talked much, but he did speak later on in a few episodes, and his main goal was always to repopulate other planets by shrinking animals and humans. And Brainiac in that cartoon wasn't really much of a threat. And also Brainiac appeared in a number of episodes as a member of the Legion of Doom in the Super Friends, and we would also see him in his true robotic form. But the best version for me was the DCAU version of Brainiac, where he really stepped his game up, and at times he seemed more like the main villain for Superman, above Lex Luthor. And some of the storytelling in the Superman animated series was fantastic, and Brainiac was truly scary, very cold, very calculating, and voiced beautifully by Corey Burton. And for me, the DCAU version of Brainiac is my all-time favourite, because just as I said at the beginning, you never ever truly destroy Brainiac, because he always finds a way to download himself into another copy and just return to cause Superman more chaos. And even at one point, Brainiac fused with Lex Luthor in the shocking reveal in Justice League Unlimited's Cadmus story arc. And for me, that was the highlight of the story arc, seeing Brainiac taking control of Lex Luthor's body and just causing all sorts of trouble. And Brainiac also appeared in the Legion of Superheroes animated series, which was pretty good. And recently he appeared in Superman Unbound, which for me is probably the best Superman versus Brainiac movie. Although he did appear in Superman Brainiac Attacks, that movie was a little bit silly, but the animation was pretty good in my opinion. And Brainiac would also appear in live action in Smallville Season 5, who was played superbly by James Masters, but he was never referred to as Brainiac until Season 6. He would go under the name of Dr. Milton Fine, which was a reference to his human form that he took on back in the comics, where Milton Fine was a magician. And I thought James Masters, to his credit, did an excellent job portraying the cold, emotionless demeanour of Brainiac, and at times he didn't sound robotic, but he was very fluid and very well spoken, and his goals were not quite the same as other versions of Brainiac that we had seen in the past. James Masters' Brainiac was all about control, and his mission was to try and free General Zod from the Phantom Zone. But later on, after General Zod was defeated, Brainiac was just simply going around trying to control other people while trying to repair his own damaged body. But I thought James Masters did an excellent job playing Brainiac, and sadly we didn't get to see Brainiac in his true form. The closest that we got was we saw Brainiac spill out of the ship in this metallic liquid, which was definitely a reference to Robert Patrick's T-1000 from Terminator 2 Judgment Day. But if you looked closely, they were more like nanites as opposed to liquid. But it was still pretty cool, but at the same time it wasn't quite the Brainiac that we all know and love. But this wouldn't be the last time that we would see Brainiac in live action. His next appearance would be in the short-lived CW Krypton series, where he was played by Blake Ritson. And I haven't actually sat down and watched the Krypton series, but I've seen pictures of Brainiac in the show, and I've seen a number of clips on YouTube, and Brainiac in the Krypton TV series just completely blew me away. He looked exactly like Brainiac from Superman Unbound. He was very scary looking, and he just blew my mind, and I just thought to myself, that's exactly how Brainiac should look. Very cold, very calculating, and extremely scary. But sadly, Krypton would come to an abrupt end after 2 seasons, and since then Brainiac has never graced the big screen in a cinematic movie. I have heard a number of stories over the years that he was supposed to appear in a number of Superman movies. I even remember back in 2007 there was an idea of bringing Brainiac into the Superman Returns sequel, and it was going to be called Man of Steel 50/50, but that idea got shelved. And I also heard there was an idea of doing a Man of Steel sequel with Henry Cavill, and Brainiac was going to be the main villain, but nothing has happened since then. And it is a real shame because, like I said at the beginning, Brainiac is up there with Lex Luthor. He's one of the best Superman villains. He never gets much love, and he deserves so much more. And I would love to see a Superman movie with Brainiac as the main villain. I think it would be absolutely fantastic, and there wouldn't be much you can do with Brainiac because you can make him all CGI if you want to, or maybe do something similar to what they did in the Krypton TV series, where do some prosthetics and makeup and do a bit of CGI around a person. It can be done, but for some strange reason, filmmakers just constantly recycle Lex Luthor, and even General Zod at times. Even though I love General Zod, he's starting to get the Lex Luthor overexposure syndrome, and I just really want to see Brainiac in a Superman movie. So we are going to focus now on how I would have introduced Brainiac for Superman 3, because there was a rumour that he was going to appear in the movie. And I think I speak for everybody when I say this, that Superman 3 was terrible, but the only good thing about that movie was Christopher Reeve's epic performance as evil Superman, and I thought he did an excellent job in portraying and showcasing the evil side of the Man of Steel. And the highlight was seeing Superman split into two, with good Superman dressed up as Clark Kent facing off against his evil self in a classic automobile junkyard fight. Now, for the purposes of Superman 3, I would have kept all of that exactly the same as it was, but I would have Brainiac be the cause of Superman splitting into two, which I am going to get into in a moment. So what I would have for Superman 3 is I would have it be a continuation of Superman 2, the Richard Donner cut. Now, you all remember that Superman threw a missile into outer space back at the end of Superman 1, and in Richard Donner's cut of Superman 2, the missile exploded and shattered the Phantom Zone, releasing General Zod and his minions. But what if the shockwave of that blast caused Brainiac's spaceship, which just happened to be flying around in outer space, gets hit, and that causes to crash on Earth, and Superman sees something flying down into the Earth and catching fire, and Superman saves the ship and rescues Brainiac. But what Superman doesn't realise is Brainiac has an agenda. He wants to control all of Earth's computer systems and repopulate his dying planet of Cthulhu. So I would keep Brainiac's roots, that he's from Cthulhu and he has his own agenda about wanting to repopulate his dying planet. So I would have Brainiac pretend to be a good guy. He would befriend Superman, and Superman would introduce him to the entire world that this is Brainiac, he's from another planet, and he's come here as a visitor and he means no harm. So that would be my way of introducing Brainiac into Superman 3. And Brainiac, for the first half of the movie, would refer to himself as Real Dogs before revealing himself to be actually called Brainiac, aka the Brain Interactive Construct. So just like in Superman 3, instead of Gus Gorman being the one who gives Superman the kryptonite, I would have Brainiac be the one who gives the kryptonite to Superman. And instead of it being green kryptonite, I would have it be the red kryptonite, because we all remember red kryptonite is the one that turns Superman evil. So I would have him be the one who presents it to him as a gift. So I would have Brainiac say to Superman, "I don't know how I can ever repay you for saving my life, Superman. And as a small token of appreciation, I want to give you a gift." So he presents to him red kryptonite. Now obviously we know red kryptonite doesn't kill Superman, but just like in Superman 3, it slowly corrupts his mind, and with Superman out of the way doing bad stuff, that leaves it wide open for Brainiac to do what he's going to do. So all of the rest of the film, just exactly the same. Superman's committing bad deeds, he starts drinking, his suit gets darker and darker, and then he splits into two, and Superman and Clark Kent go at it. But this would be all of Brainiac's plots, so the fight that's going on with Superman and Clark isn't really real. It's in Superman's head. So just like we see Superman is screaming after Lana Lang's son is telling that you can do it, Superman. But in that moment, I would have Superman black out, but you wouldn't really know that he blacked out until after, he's defeated his evil self. So for most of the fights that you see is in Superman's head. So after that, Superman is back to normal. He's rid himself of his evil doppelganger, and he goes after Brainiac, and then we see the two of them go at it. And then, just as we are seeing Brainiac is about to take over the computer systems, Brainiac reveals the shocking truth. I would have Brainiac reveal to Superman that I visited Krypton once, and I learned that Krypton was about to be destroyed, and I shrunk the city of Kandor in hopes of preserving it. And Superman says, why would you even do that? You're not even Kryptonian. And Brainiac would also reveal that I am a machine, I am a living computer, and I am tasked and programmed to collect knowledge and preserve all life and its history. And I did so by taking Kandor. So you have a choice, Superman. Either save planet Earth or save the people of Kandor. And Superman would say to Brainiac, you can't possibly expect me to choose. And Brainiac says, if you are truly who you say you are, you would not need to make such a difficult choice. You would save the people of Krypton. And Superman would say, what about the people of Earth? Surely they deserve a second chance as well. And Brainiac says, well, if I am to start a new world, I have to build the foundation on something. And Earth is a necessary risk, but one that I'm willing to take. And Superman and Brainiac go at it, and Superman manages to destroy Brainiac by punching a hole into his chest and ripping out all of his wiring, and manages to rescue the bottle of Kandor. So that would be how I would introduce Brainiac into Superman 3. But I wouldn't just have it end there. I would also have it set up for Supergirl to appear. So Superman would preserve Kandor in the fortress, but little does Superman realise that Brainiac actually has his cousin Supergirl in a pod somewhere on his ship, and that would be setting up for Superman 4. Not the Superman 4 that we got with Nuclear Man, but the fourth installment of Superman would feature Supergirl. I would also have Brainiac in that movie as well, but this would be more Supergirl's story arc, and Brainiac would be a part of it. So Superman 4 would be a continuation of Superman 3, and that pretty much wraps up my theory on how I would have introduced Brainiac for Superman 3. Now, the next time that I am going to be back, I am going to do a follow-up video to this, which will be part 2, and that is going to be about my theory on how I would introduce Brainiac into the Arrowverse, but that's going to be for another time. So what do you guys think about my theory on how I would have introduced Brainiac into Superman 3? Do you think this would have worked, or would you have had a different way to introduce him into Superman 3? You know what to do, guys. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, leave your thoughts and comments down below, and I will be back next time with a follow-up video on how I would introduce Brainiac into the Arrowverse. So until next time, take care everybody and stay safe, and once again, thanks for listening.